Hi guys, this is Callie. Today we're going to talk about top mistakes that new drivers make, anything from the hiring process to your first year on the job.
Things I've learned through the years, I guess, driving, especially when I first started out, I was new. I asked a lot of questions. If you're not sure, ask. That's the bottom line, right? I've done some stupid things. I've had a couple incidents, but if I would have stopped and asked somebody, it would have been a lot better for me. But throughout the years, you learn, right? You learn as you go. So.
Talk to older drivers, talk to senior drivers, talk to experienced drivers that have gone everywhere, that have done local work, that have done long haul, that have done regional work, that have done inner cities, LTL, and never stop asking questions. When you're at a truck stop, you see a bunch of guys sitting around. If one of them nods at you and goes, "Hey, how's it going?" Answer them, go, "Hey, how's it going?" "I'm doing great, how are you?" "Hey, by the way, I was doing this and this and this," or whatever. "You ever do this?" And see what they say, man. Free advice is free advice. If you're not paying for it, you can get it for free. Take it, man.
Most people are willing to, give some of their advice. You don't have to take it, but keep it in the back of your head just in case it comes in handy someday.
It's very easy to get a million answers to one question in this industry. But it's very important to find something that suits your driving habits.
You have to have a certain mindset. When the weekend comes, I know I have a family, I would love to be with them, but this is my job. I have to do what I have to do. Have it in mind, knowing that this is what you want to do. Prepare to do it the right way.
You're going to come out of truck driving school and you're looking for an employer. Here's the problem. You're going to be limited to company access, which means only large and mega companies will hire you due to their insurance policies, which most large and mega carriers are self-insured, which means that they can take you. Now, because you have no experience, when you get hired, they want to promise you the world. They're going to throw you benefits, they want to throw you money and mileage and all that stuff. You have to realize, you have to kind of use common sense and realize that a lot of it's bullshit. A lot of companies, they will lie to you. Why? Because one is you don't have experience. Second, you're going to believe them. And third, you don't understand how the industry works. So when you come out of truck driving school, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. The second is mileage. The recruiter will say, "Oh, we're going to give you 3,500 miles a week." They're going to give you that, but you're not going to average that. So just because you get the miles for 1 week, don't expect you're going to get that every single week, okay? Remember, if you work for a large and mega carriers, everybody is fighting for the same thing what you're fighting for, and that is mileage, because you're getting paid based on mileage. Pay. So a lot of companies, they know that you have no experience. You're going to get hired, and they're not going to pay you well.
I have a story about a friend of mine that best explains the situation. I was at a former company, and I decided to leave, and I got a job with this said company, which don't ask, I will not tell. That was a Van den Reefer company, and this is where I met Simon. Now Simon, I would consider an ideal sponge, meaning he is, when I met him, I think he was mid-20s, because I think he's late 20s now, because I've known him for a year or so. He is your atypical, fresh, green, within the year driver. He came out of trucking school and took whatever job would hire him. Well, unfortunately, the company he worked for took advantage of it. He ended up having to finance the company. They owed him something like 20 grand or something like that. And sorry, Simon, I don't remember the actual number. They paid by check, which didn't work. Because if you're out in California or Texas, how are you going to get paid? When he left, they gave him 3 checks and told him when he could cash them. They treated him like complete crap, but he didn't know any better, and so he took it and just did what they told him to do. And I told him this is wrong. So the mistakes I see green drivers or new drivers within a year is that They take whatever they can to get their foot in the door, to get some experience. And if you don't get to an established, proper company, you have the potential of getting used and abused and kicked to the curb kind of thing. And that's the biggest issue I see with new drivers.
The amount of time that I'm on the road is something I didn't expect. It is a profession where there are many sacrifices that you make. You're not home every day. Your family makes the sacrifice with you.
The first thing I would ever tell any new driver coming into this industry is if you have a girlfriend, or you're thinking of getting a girlfriend, or if you're a woman and you've got a husband or a boyfriend, you tell them up front. You be upfront with them. This is what I do, and this is chances are how long I'm going to be gone, so that they don't have an expectation of what you're going to be doing, of when you're going to be home or the time that you're going to spend with them. Always let them, tell them up front. It's the best advice I can give you, because too many guys have had to cash in their trucks because their wives aren't happy.
I stay out for 3, 4, 5 weeks at a time, and then I go home for a week. I make sure that I have my home time with my family, because I got a young family. The kids, they call me of an evening and of a morning on Facebook. It's just me, my head on a screen. So if I take that week off, I'm physically there with them, and I can be a dad during those times. I've been out for 6 weeks. I'm still not going to be home for another 2 weeks. So it is a lonely life, but if you can stick at it and you can work at it, yes, it is very, very worth it.
When I first started driving, it was mostly learning how to drive the truck in the city and stuff, like making the corners and doing, because I used to work out of Red Deer, and I used to do the city a lot in Red Deer. So, you got to make sure that you can fit your truck down this road, and whether the street is a one-way or whether what lane to be in to make sure when you're ready to turn. And a car will always try and sneak in there, so you got to be careful that way. So
take your time, know your route, including your weather, traffic patterns, pick your lanes. People who tend to follow maybe the center lane or the right lane, there's advantages to both. For example, the right lane gives you a safety out in case of an emergency. It is very important to have an exit plan and to keep it in mind. The center lane is also helpful in a city environment due to the merging of traffic coming in and off the highways.
The majority of the public see you as a nuisance on the road. You're big, you're slow going around corners, and with today's society, everything has to be fast. Unfortunately, in the trucking industry, it's slow, otherwise you're not going to be getting anywhere. But I'm proud of being a trucker because I know that I am getting goods from A to B where the people need them.
Some of the pros in driving a truck is, like I said, you get your 70-hour week, so you make more money in that 70-hour week than you would in like a Monday to Friday job working 40 hours. Cons are you're never home. You always got to live in truck stops. You're always never in the same place twice.
Not everywhere you will go, you will talk to somebody, they will be pleasant with you. Some are very nice and some are very unpleasant. So you don't let these things bother you. Be nice with everybody. Put 100% out to do what you're going to do.
The best piece of advice I can give a new driver or inexperienced driver, regardless of your age, because we do have new drivers that are coming out in our industry that aren't young chickens anymore. And it doesn't matter, male, female, whatever. The best piece of advice I will give you is if you're coming out of trucking school and thinking you're gonna go get a job, or maybe you've got a little bit of experience, is go to truck stops. Go to 4 or 5 truck stops. Actually sit down and talk to truckers. Find out what company they work for, you know, the goods and bads. Explain to them as you're talking to them, you know, your situation. You're fresh out of trucking school or you have limited experience, and they'll either tell you stay away or this is the company you should go to or whatever. Unless they're a total grump, is the best way I can put it. But 95% of us out there will sit down and talk to you and give you good advice or help a new driver out in the industry, because it helps our industry. 25 to 35% of our industry has a bad experience the first time out, like first company they work for, and get a bad taste in their mouth for this industry. Now, don't get me wrong. This industry is not for everybody. Living in these trucks, if you're a long haul driver, is not for everybody. That's why a lot of people have dogs or pets in general, because I have seen some with cats and birds. But, and there are teams, man and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, and just straight up teens. But ultimately, this industry is not for everybody. But if you come in and get used and abused and have to finance a company, that would kick anybody out of the industry. Well, that's my 2 bits. If you're a new driver, definitely subscribe and like, and shoot us a comment. You know, if you have any questions, need any advice. If you're an old fart like me, why not subscribe, like, and share your experiences that you had to go through, or recommendations if somebody is asking questions. Like, we're all a community here. Let's help each other out. Like, subscribe, comment. Peace out.